Alright, guys, couple of disclaimers before I begin. My voice is a little soft. It might sound a little weird. It's 2 in the morning, and there's neighbors, and I'm in my brother's apartment right now. I went all the way. I trekked to Montreal. 2-hour drive to see this movie. Yikes. Yeah, I didn't really like it. I watched the new Wes Anderson flick, Asteroid City, Metroid City, Meteorite City. Imagine Wes Anderson doing a Metroid movie. It would be so good. No, it wouldn't. What can I say about Wes Anderson? He's made some of my favorite movies. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, great movie. The Grand Budapest Hotel, fantastic movie. Moonrise Kingdom, amazing. Rushmore, great. Bottle Rocket, I love Bottle Rocket. Bottle Rocket doesn't get enough love. It's one of my favorite heist movies. But I feel like lately, Wes Anderson just kind of became a parody of himself. I wasn't really a fan of I Love Dogs. I wasn't really a fan of The French Dispatch. And I feel like this is more in that camp of like, okay, Wes Anderson, you're just going a bit too far with the style. I reviewed The French Dispatch on my channel. I can't remember if I made a separate video or it was in my top 100 of the year and I ranked all the movies I saw that year. But I talked about how Wes Anderson just has the same tricks, the same style, and he just overly relies on that. Because you watch the movie, and it's a beautiful movie. Beautiful cinematography. Everything is symmetrical. There's that meme on the internet where Wes Anderson is doing a Tom Cruise style rant, and he's like, it needs to be symmetrical.
If it's not gonna be symmetrical, it's not going in the movie.
That was pretty great. But the production design, the practical effects, and just the way the cinematography just adds to the comedy, all that, it's in every Wes Anderson movie, and it's in this movie. It's what you've come to expect. And it's more at the forefront in this movie. And it's more at the forefront of a movie like The French Dispatch, where like the cinematography was very immaculate. The movements, the positioning, the blocking, everything felt very OCD and immaculate. But with that comes exaggerations of other components of Wes Anderson's style, which to me is flat characters. Now, Wes Anderson always had very flat, subdued, lo-fi characters, but they're still well-rounded. They're still interesting people, even though they are more subdued. You take a movie like Steve Zissou. Bill Murray in that movie, he's a selfish prick. He's an egotistical person who only wants his fame. And the whole movie is about that character. And you're on board because it's an interesting character. It's a documentarian who just wants to do his documentary and get vengeance on the shark. And you're in for it. You like this character. Bottle Rocket is another one where I feel like the characters are really interesting and fun to watch. Owen Wilson in that movie is really hilarious. He's a good comedic sidekick. Grand Budapest Hotel, you have the lobby boy, his trusted sidekick. And you have the hotel manager played by Ralph Fiennes. Yeah, they're very iconic characters, and you can see why people connect with these characters so much. Because yes, the production design is beautiful, the costumes are beautiful, but it's also those characters, they really add to that ambience. What are the characters in this movie? What was Steve Carell's character? Like, describe his character to me. Spoilers, you can't. He's a flat character. What was Matt Dillon's character? Again, you can't describe... These aren't characters. What was Jason Schwartzman's character? What was he all about? You just can't. The characters are so monotone in this movie. And I first started noticing it with I Love Dogs, where every line is delivered like this. Hi, I'm in a Wes Anderson movie. Oh, that's quite surprising. I think I love you too. Let's go on a date. I think I want to get romantically involved with you. And after a while, it really irritates me. It really wears thin after a while. It's funny for the first few gags. After a while, it's like, okay, let's do something different here. The deadpan is not funny anymore. When you expect deadpan delivery, after a while, it doesn't work anymore. Okay, the characters are flat. What about the story? I don't know what the story is. You're introduced to this framing device where it turns out the whole story of the film is actually a play. And whenever we're seeing the behind the scenes of the play, it's in a 4:3 aspect ratio, black and white. And whenever you're in the world of the play, it's widescreen and very colorful with nice, beautiful pastel colors. Doesn't work for me. Every time you cut back to the framing device, I got bored. I wasn't invested in the characters. Not that I was any more invested in the characters in the Asteroid City. But at the end of the day, it's Wes Anderson doing like a 50s sci-fi movie. That's the thing that's more interesting. I don't want to cut back to the framing device. Not only is there that fucking play framing device, but it's narrated by Bryan Cranston, who shows up in the fucking bottom right corner of the screen every 4 seconds like he's fucking Alfred Hitchcock or something. I just got annoyed really quickly with this movie. Every decision was made for style and not for substance. It didn't add anything to the characters, didn't add anything to the message. They introduced aliens halfway through the movie. And finally, I was like, yes, Wes Anderson is doing something a little different. Because the alien had such a fucking weird design. It was CG animated, but it looked like really crappy 90s CG animation. But then they just don't do anything with it. And I was like, fuck. Like, just give me something to chew on to. I kept thinking of the movie Vast of Night. And how that did such a good job of like creating that 50s atmosphere and aliens and stuff like that. And it's just like this movie was so safe for Wes Anderson. It was a very safe movie with very flat characters. That's another thing too. Does every Wes Anderson movie need narration now? Like the French Dispatch had that narration. And it had like, this is this character, he's like this. This is this character, he's like this. And this is this character, and he's like this. And I'm like, don't fucking tell me what the character is. Just fucking show it to me. I'm gonna get into spoilers, I guess, if that matters at all for this movie. The ending is atrocious. It ends with like the line between the play and the behind the scenes getting blurred. And there's just this point where all the characters are in a room and they keep repeating, you can't wake up if you fall asleep, or some shit like that. And you're like, why? That's your ending? Give me some more alien shit. It was really interesting when Wes Anderson was doing some sci-fi kind of stuff, because that was something I've never seen from Wes Anderson. I've seen him do like exploration movies. I've seen him do heist movies. I've seen him do like on the run movies with Grand Budapest. I've seen him do romance with Moonrise Kingdom. I've never seen him do sci-fi, and it was just like, ugh. This movie was a real drag. And not one Owen Wilson cameo. Not one. Just give me a little wow. Not even one. I don't know. Did you guys like this movie? Wasn't a fan. 4 out of 10. See ya, guys.